Good afternoon, Whispers, and welcome back to another powerful episode of Whispers in a Bottle, Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays. I'm Sonya LaRae, luxury lifestyle architect specializing in lifestyle counseling, fashion psychology, and naturopathic wellness. It is so good to be back in our safe zone and to welcome you into the Whispers Lounge. You know that your girl has your back at all times. Before we dive into today's discussion, please make sure that you hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you want my best tools and master keys, join the Whisperers Exchange newsletter at the link in the description box. Or better yet, come on over to Instagram at Whispers in a Bottle _podcast because you know we literally have one more episode before our season finale. So you don't want to miss all the great things that are coming and special announcements that are only going to be availed to our Whispers Lounge and to our community only. So you don't want to miss it, Whispers. So make sure that you subscribe to our fabulous newsletter. So before we get into things, today's conversation is deeply important because we are approaching our second to last episode, like I said, before our summer hiatus. And that matters because pause creates perspective. And, reflection creates recalibration. And one of the greatest things many high performers lose in the pursuit of success is the ability to feel joy while they're living their lives. And not later, not after the next contract, not after the next launch, not after the next achievement, but right now. But Whispers, I love to start all of our discussions off with a clear meaning or understanding. So this isn't any different. We're going to get the meaning or the definition of gratitude. Gratitude. So the state of being grateful or abundance of thankfulness. Oh my goodness. Let me give that to you again. Gratitude means the state of being grateful or abundance of thankfulness. Now, Whispers, today's discussion is called Gratitude in Real Time, Unlocking Joy Where We Stand. See, because many people are physically present somewhere while emotionally absent from their own lives. And they're constantly chasing the next thing while overlooking the miracle of what already exists right around them. Are you guilty of this? Is this something that you might be struggling with even? So, literally, a lot of times they miss the conversation, they miss the meals, even the beautiful sunrise or sunsets, laughter, the calm moments in a space and place, the breath, the progress. Even opportunities get missed. See, Whispers, because many become so conditioned to surviving, optimizing, producing, even performing that they stop emotionally experiencing life in real time. I always tell you that we have to be willing to put that power in pausing so we can even see those micro wins that we have, or to even be present in the spaces and places that we, as people say, are so important to us. So eventually, this creates emotional numbness in people's lives. And you can have accomplishments and still feel disconnected, and you can have influence and still even have emotional emptiness. How many times do we see so many people that are successful but are so unhappy in their lives? So you can have motion without fulfillment, even, and that's a pure fact. See, that is why gratitude is not just a positive mindset or even a mindset tool, or when you get with these life coaches or you're working with a luxury lifestyle architect, we really help you to understand that it's a deeper quality that you have to connect to. See, gratitude is your nervous system's regulation. It's your emotional grounding. And even gratitude is present moment awareness for us. See, gratitude actually helps us to have that recalibration for our mind, body, and soul. And I talk about that mind, body, and soul connection all the time, meaning in totality. That's what gratitude allows us to be present and be in that fullness of our lives. So, when practiced intentionally, now you notice that word intentionally, it's done on purpose. Gratitude teaches your nervous system that safety, beauty, joy, and abundance are available now, not only in the future, but right now. So, today, I'm going to give you three powerful master keys that will help you to strengthen your connection to presence, as well as help you to stop emotionally postponing your life. And that's how powerful these keys are. Because, see, these keys allow you and give us the ability to open up the hallways, the corridors, and the secret compartments of our heart and our mind, but they also allow us to shut off that inner and outer noise that keep us constantly postponing our lives or postponing that space and place where we should be in that abundance of gratitude. With that being said, Whispers, look, let's dive into our first master key. The first key is gratitude journaling, training your mind to notice what matters. Now, a lot of times when I say about journaling, so many people huff and they puff. But this is the thing. One of the greatest misconceptions about gratitude journaling is that people think it's simply writing down random positive thoughts. But they don't realize that it's so much deeper than that. And it's so much more powerful than that. See, gratitude journaling is training your brain to notice life differently. And that's powerful. How did you receive that when you heard it? Gratitude journaling is retraining your brain to notice life differently. See, most people, Whispers, unknowingly train their minds towards stress detection. Oh, they got the stress detector out all the time. They wake up and immediately scan for problems, deadlines, threats, pressures, disappointments, comparisons, the lack of, or the fear, better yet, fear. But realizing this over time, your brain becomes conditioned to search for what is wrong, and whether your mind repeatedly search for becomes emotionally amplified. So if we constantly are on the negative or on the oh what if and the constant scanning, please pause. See, that's why some people can sit in beautiful environments and still feel emotionally heavy. Gone away with someone and you're in like this beautiful atmosphere and it's just so beautiful and you're like, oh my goodness, isn't this just wonderful? Oh yeah, it is. But they're so disconnected, and then they start bringing up something that has nothing to do with the moment that you're in. That is because they are still emotionally weighed down. See, their nervous system has become addicted to scanning for problems. But gratitude journaling interrupts that cycle. That's how powerful it is. It gets to shift your awareness from what is missing to what is already meaningful. That changes everything. That's a real game changer right there. You go from what is missing to now what is already meaningful. Do you hear the power in that? The simple word of just saying that out loud. I know I felt the energy because presence expands when appreciation expands. So it's much like when you pour water into sand, it starts to swell. It's the same difference. Now, let me clarify something very important though. You know, authentic gratitude journaling is not toxic positivity. I need to make sure you are very clear on this because you're not pretending life is perfect. We're not pretending in that space and place. You're not denying pain. You're not bypassing difficulties. Nobody says everything is rainbows because that's not how life is. You're simply refusing to let hardship blind you from beauty. Even in the darkest spaces and places, there are rainbows. I even think about in the darkest of times and spaces, it brought my mind back to the situation in Joplin and that huge tornado came. And it was just devastating. But literally, in that storm and everything that cleared, there was no fatalities. And one family, as they was standing there, the rainbow came over their home that was no longer standing there, but every last one of their family members was standing there. It touches my heart even when I'm talking about it now because that is emotional maturity. See, Whispers, here's the problem with many high performers and individuals too. They only acknowledge major milestones in their life. But life is not built from giant moments. Life is built from small moments repeated consistently and constantly. You know, the warm shower, the peaceful morning, the great cup of coffee, the functioning of our bodies, or the supportive friends that we have, or the great podcast that we listen to that pours into us, or the ability to begin again, the lessons learned, the things that we take away that make us a better, stronger, and motivated person in the space and place, Whisperers. A gratitude journal slows you down enough to emotionally absorb your own existence. And emotionally absorbing your life is what creates joy. Not speed, not accumulation, not a constant set of achievements. Do you know that most people are just so fixated on achievements that they don't even get to see or to celebrate the micro wins that they have along the way? They don't even get to acknowledge the things that they have done because they're so looking for the big, big picture. But see, when we are in that presence, we get to practice certain things. So I like to do every evening before I go to bed, I like to write down at least three things I appreciated in my day. And it may not be anything spectacular or anything like that, but it's three things that I appreciated in my day. One thing that I've learned today, even I put in there, and one moment that I didn't want to even overlook. And you will be surprised how impactful that is. So, prime example of the one moment you don't want to overlook. The other day, my daughter had testing. And after the test, we decided that we was going to go out and just have a little breakfast. And just seeing her little face and how excited she was after the test and everything, and she did her best, and she had to go back the next day, but at least this day we was in that moment, and that's what I tell her. We celebrate each moment that we're in, and to see her be present in that moment just brought me so much joy. And I wanted to capture that picture in my mind's eye in my journal, a moment that I did not want to overlook. See, whispers, that's how powerful this is. But it even is the deeper layers that we don't want to miss, even. We don't want to rush through them. We really want to feel them. We want to relive the moments in that space and place and feel the joy that even was in our heart at that particular time. And see, that's what gratitude journaling is about, because gratitude is not intellectual. It is not intellectual. And you have to realize that. You have to sit with that for a moment. It's experiential. And your nervous system responds more strongly to emotionally felt gratitude than that mechanically written gratitude, like that fakeitude. That's a good word, fakeitude. We're going to make it happen. So I want you to pause long enough to actually receive the moment, to receive it. I work deep in this space and place with my clients. So this conversation is so juicy to me and it's so meaningful to me that I'm really taking my time with it, because I want us to really build on it. We are in our last episodes here on Whispers in a Bottle before our season hiatus. You know, our summer hiatus is around the corner. Are you going to sit in your summer hiatus and allow yourself to be present and to fill a gratitude journal for the moments that you get to really celebrate and drink in? See, research continues showing that gratitude practices can be positively impactful for stress reduction, emotional regulation, sleep quality. How many of you all need better sleep? That's that gratitude in that space and place, allowing your heart and your mind to settle into a deeper space and place, even, and that mental clarity that it brings. But why? Why? It's because gratitude moves the body from chronic survival mode into emotional um, receptiveness. And when your body feels emotionally safer, the mind becomes clearer. And so many times, this is why many people don't actually need more motivation. They really need more emotional connection to their own lives. And so many times that's just missed or skipped over. But you realize, with us pouring so deeply into that first master key, it brings us into a second master key. And you notice I am taking my time with these keys. I am building upon them, whispers. That is how imperative this discussion really is. So, our second master key is micro gratitude check ins, returning yourself to the present moment. Ooh, micro gratitude check ins. Now, because one of the reasons people lose joy is not because life has no beauty, it's because their attention has been stolen. It's constantly on us. You just don't even understand, whispers. People's attention are stolen daily. Their attention constantly is fragmented. Why? It's because of notifications, emails, meetings, stress, algorithms, pressure, constant scrolling, constant demands that maybe they've even put on themselves, or that internal dialogue, that inner noise that constantly is running. People are physically somewhere while mentally somewhere else. And when attention leaves the present moment long enough, joy disappears with it. See, that's why micro gratitude check ins matter so much. See, micro gratitude check ins are intentional pauses throughout the day where you stop and emotionally reconnect to the present moment. Hello, put that on replay. play it back again, take notes, whatever you need to do. If you need to come back and hear it again, let me say it again for you, and it's going to be at the 20 marker, okay? The 20.04 marker. That gratitude check ins are intentional pauses throughout the day where you stop and emotionally reconnect to the present moment, not later, now. See, these pauses may only last for like 30 seconds to maybe 2 minutes. That's all it is, 30 seconds to 2 minutes. But they can completely shift your emotional state. See, here's what this practice sounds like. If you do it correctly, this is what it sounds like. So, right now, what is good in this moment? Not in theory, not eventually, but now. So, maybe it's the sunlight hitting your face. Maybe you're having a beautiful cup of tea, your ability to breathe deeply or sit in a space of recognizing your breath, or maybe you turned on a little music in your office that it's low playing and you're just allowing yourself to sit and breathe and to take in the rhythms. Whatever it is your body and it's your moment in that quiet place. And these tiny emotional acknowledgments matter because they interrupt emotional autopilot. Emotional autopilot, where you're constantly just there and you're flying through. You don't have any kind of say over anything because emotional autopilot is dangerous. Because when people live unconsciously long enough, they stop experiencing life while they're even living it. They don't even realize that they've stopped living life. They've stopped being in their life even. Everything becomes transactional. Everything becomes functional. Everything becomes rushed. And that's not living, whisperers. That is emotional disconnection. You realize that micro gratitude check ins restore emotional intimacy with your life. Your life. So I want to give you a fact. You know, gratitude increases emotional regulation, and that's a fact. But why? Why is that? It's because gratitude anchors us in the present moment. See, anxiety usually lives in the future. Regret usually lives in the past, but you realize, whew, gratitude. Gratitude lives in the now. So it's in the present, it's in the moment, it is in the feeling, it is in the structure, it is in the now. And when you consistently return yourself to the present moment, your nervous system begins calming itself more naturally. And this is why mindful gratitude is a form of emotional regulation. It's not a form of performance or perfection, and many people want to say, but it's not. And I want our whispers to understand something deeply. I want you to really understand something deeply. See, joy is not always loud. It's not always so loud and boisterous. Because sometimes joy, and I mean real joy, it's quiet, it's soft, it's stable, it's grounded, it's peaceful, and it's gentle. Woo. Whisperers, did you feel it? Did you feel that? So many people, and unfortunately, Whispers, so many of you overlook joy because you're only looking for emotional extremes. But Literally, peace is joy, stillness is also joy, and safety is the abundance of joy. See, breathing deeply without pressure is also joy. One of the greatest luxuries in life is internal calmness. And so many times, people that meet me, people that know me, they speak about how calm I am. You're so calm, Sonia. It's because I live in a space and place of constant gratitude, a place of such abundance, a wealth of gratefulness. See, gratitude helps you recognize when calm is already available. Some discussions touch me so deeply. And especially discussions like this, I find myself just so deeply entrenched and intertwined into it that all of my energy, my soul, my heart is into it. So, your assignment this week, Whispers, I want you to simply pause 3 times daily: morning, midday, and the evening. But I want you to ask yourself, oh, here we go with the introspective questions. What beauty exists around me right now that I almost overlooked? Ooh, let that vibrate. Let that ride with you. What beauty exists around me right now that I almost overlooked? That single question can begin changing your relationship with your life, your relationship, deep, deep, deep relationship with your life. So that brings us into our third master key. And I got so many notes and different little things I want to share with you all too. I don't want to miss any of my little notes that I've written down here for you because I really want to take my time and really sort this discussion into a beautiful space. Because you realize that even as I step into this discussion, a space and place of gratitude is filling me because I get to come in and birth something so dynamic with all of you fabulous whispers. I tell you constantly how much I appreciate you spending your life seconds with me. That's deep gratitude, whispers. But see, in that space and place of gratitude, this third master key is necessary. You have to be willing. You have to be really willing. Shifting from lack to abundance, rewriting your emotional narrative, rewriting it. Now, this final master key is so transformative. It transforms you in such a way because many people intellectually desire abundance while emotionally rehearsing lack every single day. They got it on repeat every day. See, your emotional patterns shape your lived experiences. So let me explain that. So, a lack based mindset sounds like I'm behind, or I never have enough, nothing is working, something is always wrong, everyone else is ahead of me, I'll be happy when I'm missing something. That's what it sounds like, right? And that dialogue or that constant run creates emotional scarcity. And emotional scarcity creates chronic dissatisfaction. Ooh, dissatisfaction. No matter how much success arrives, it never feels like enough because the nervous system has been conditioned towards absence. So understand this, whisperers. This is not about pretending that challenges don't exist. This is about recognizing that scarcity thinking distorts perception. Remember, I told you it's the connotation that we as people attach to things. Because when the mind becomes consumed with what is absent, it loses the ability to recognize what is already present. And this is where gratitude becomes transformative. Because you realize that gratitude, it shifts your internal narrative. It makes a whole 360 in the narrative. There is nothing here. You first sound like that. There is nothing here. And it shifts and it pivots and it changes it to there is more here than I realized. Ooh, speaking life into it. Speaking life over yourself. That changes your emotional posture, even. And emotional posture shapes decision making, it shapes your relationships, the creativity, your leadership, your self worth. And people grounded in gratitude often become more emotionally resilient, more creative. They're magnetic. How many times have people been drawn to someone that has just this space and place of gratitude? I live in a place of gratitude and I know how people are drawn to me. There's more peace and they are so present and in the now and in the here, and that they notice the small details. They're emotionally available. But why? It's because abundance is not only financial, abundance is emotional capacity, it's mental clarity, it's peace, it's health, connection, purpose, wisdom, love, kindness, joy. It's abundance in all of those areas. But most importantly, it's alignment. It's an alignment in itself. And many people are wealthy financially, but impoverished emotionally. Hmm. Let that sit with you for a second. See, because that is not abundance. That's not abundance at all. See, true abundance is having the internal capacity to experience your life while living it. I love experiencing my life. I am always present in every part and element of my life. I share a little bit of everything with you all. I'm so transparent about certain things, even with regards to my life, because I am in that space and place of abundance and gratitude. I have a dear friend that pours into me on many occasions, and he always brings forward of allowing me to hear the abundance and the gratitude that I sit in. And even when he's pouring into me in such a beautiful way, it is such an appreciation I have. And that begins by shifting your focus. You realize that for you to have that abundance or that true abundance in that space, requires that heavy lifting needs to be done, that shift that needs to take place. And one of the most powerful exercises you can implement is instead of asking, what do I still need? Ask this question instead. What do I already have that I once prayed for? Oh, now, that question humbles the nervous system. Because many of the things you currently overlook were once deep desires. Maybe you prayed for a home, an opportunity, the ability to think clearer, boundaries, wisdom, survival, growth, a second chance. See, gratitude reconnects you to your own answered prayers and allows you to sit in a space to be thankful, thankful. And when that awareness deepens, joy naturally flows. It's not forced, it's not performative, it's real, it's grounded, it's present. Present. You realize when you say present, that means that you are here. You are here, right in the space and place that you need to be in. My goodness, Whispers, I tell you, this has been a dynamic discussion. It's been a powerful time in our safe zone inside the Whisperers Lounge. So, before I give my closing thoughts on this, let me say our time always goes so quickly. And especially when we have such powerful discussions like this, leading into a discussion and leaning into a discussion that is surrounded by the abundance of gratitude is something that is just powerful. And like I said, I thank you so much for spending your life seconds with me, even being willing to shift into a new space and place of how we're getting together, how we're connecting on a deeper level. I so appreciate you all so much. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you comment on the episode. What are you in a space and place of gratitude? Share it with me. Tell me. Don't forget to even subscribe to the Whispers Exchange because I tell you, that's our community. That's what I'm building. I got some special things that are coming. Like I said, we're in a place and space now that we're winding down for our summer hiatus. You know that we'll be gone from June all the way into September. And these are the spaces and the places that I get to nurture when we're off air. There's powerful private discussions that are happening just for you, Whisperers. I'm telling you, you are not going to want to miss what is coming. Season 4 of I think it's season 4 that's going to be Noon Vibe Edition is going to be dynamic. And you know season 13 right here on Podbean is going to be powerful. I don't even want to give it away. I can't even talk too much about it because I don't want to give it away for you. And don't forget, always join us over on Instagram at whispers in a bottle _podcast. We have some announcements over there as we share a lot of things over there as well. So please make sure of that. So, if you're a high performer or a leader or an entrepreneur or an executive who feels successful outwardly but disconnected inwardly and you're having difficulty in this space and place of gratitude, I offer a private advisory by application. So, please feel free to, click on the link. Always come over to Instagram if you don't see the link and just, comment advisory, and I will make sure that you get the invitation as well. So, in closing, let me say this. As we prepare for our summer hiatus soon, I want this conversation to stay with you. Don't wait until life slows down to experience life. Don't postpone joy until everything becomes perfect. And Whisperers, do not, do not overlook your existence while chasing your future. Because one day you will realize the moments you rushed through were actually the moments that mattered the most. The moments that mattered the most. See, presence is wealth, Whisperers. Emotional awareness is wealth. Peace is wealth. And joy is wealth. And by far, gratitude is one of the fastest ways back to yourself. So, this week, I want you to slow down enough to notice what feels good, what feels safe, even what feels meaningful to you, what feels beautiful, what feels alive. And make that now. not eventually, but now. Because your life is not waiting to begin, it's actually already happening. So, with that being said, Whispers, thank you so much for joining me for another powerful discussion. You have been listening to Whispers in a Bottle Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays, a clear voice amongst the noise that is live every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on our home network of Podbean. I'm Sonya LaRae, luxury lifestyle architect, reminding you that alignment is not found through consistent motion, it is found through consistent or conscious presence. And I look forward to us getting back together again in our safe zone right here in the Whisperers Lounge. All right, Whisperers, have a beautiful day.